Hello and welcome back to another video. Today we're going to talk about macro mode, specifically on the iPhone 13 Pro and Pro Max. This is a feature that came new in iOS 15.3. Well, it wasn't actually new, it was there all along, but there wasn't really a dedicated mode. See, when the iPhone 13 Pro series first came out, it would automatically switch to the ultra wide lens whenever you got close to something. However, this was something that was difficult to manage and most people ended up turning this off in the settings. So now, after the new update, the macro mode is shown by a little plant icon in the bottom left corner of the viewfinder. This makes it easy to toggle on and off whenever you get close to something with the wide angle lens or the telephoto lens. Your usage with this mode may vary, as most of the time you'll need a pretty specific use case for these modes. But that isn't to say that it isn't cool or it can't be useful, because the macro photography doesn't always mean you're taking a picture of like a thread on your shirt or something like that. It can also be used when you're within the focal range of the ultra wide, but you're a little bit too close for the wide angle lens. One use case that happens a lot for me is taking a picture of a computer screen. Most of the time I'm a little too close for the wide angles, so I would have to back up a lot of the time traditionally. However, with the ultra wide, when I turn this on, I can get a better picture of something on a computer screen without having to get either a lot of things in the background or having to back myself up away from the screen. But let's say your average use case is not taking pictures of flies and is not taking pictures of computer screens. What can you do with this mode? What kind of pictures can you take anyway? In my examples, I may not be able to cover most of the types of pictures that people use this for, and you may have a specific use case in mind that I'm not thinking about. However, if it's similar, it may be applicable. So I'm gonna do a small slideshow of the pictures that I've taken, and we're gonna play a little guessing game. I'm gonna show the picture in the macro mode, and then I want you to try and guess what it is. When taking pictures with the ultra wide lens, usually for the macro mode, you'll have to get pretty close. One of the things that I've noticed is that a lot of the times to get that close, you'll block out your light source. Speaking of which, I would like to encourage you to get a little closer to hitting that like button if you weren't already. This really helps the channel and potentially suggests it to more viewers. And since the sensor for the ultra wide camera isn't quite as good, you really need the most light to get the best picture possible. Especially since for these macro modes, you're doing a lot of digital and optical zoom when you're trying to get that macro shot. I personally don't have an Android phone, so I couldn't test this out on that hardware. However, I've seen that with some of the Google devices, using the telephoto lens and zooming in will get you kind of the same effect. I did mention that this mode is only available to the 13 Pro series, which unfortunately excludes a lot of iPhones. However, there is a really good option that's available for iPhones 8 and newer. If you're interested in that, then stay tuned for my next video.